World Bank is to spend about $700 million to combat desertification in the Sahel region, where 19 northern states in Nigeria will benefit. And the race to meeting the 2030 decarbonization target is gathering momentum in Africa as a carbon emission control device on cars come on stream. Now, these are the main issues in this week's edition of Africa Weekly. I am Charles Alpha, welcoming you to the program. Now, efforts are on by the World Bank to restore about 2,000 degraded landscapes occasioned by desertification in 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. Now, the efforts are in the form of distribution of operational logistics to MDAs for the implementation of the agroclimate resilience in semi-arid landscapes. Erosion and land degradation constitute some of the major climate impacts being faced in some parts of northern Nigeria, causing loss of large hectares of habitable and arable lands. The Agroclimate Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACReSAL, funded by the World Bank and implemented by the Federal Ministry of Environment, is a 6-year project plan to restore about 4 million hectares of landscapes in 19 northern states and the FCT, with the deployment of operational vehicles.
So this aspect of the certification is what ACReSAL is supposed to address. The land area is very wide. That's why we say 19 states and FCT. And that is why you need vehicles to move around to see what is happening.
With this distribution, ACReSAL is pitching its targets on restoring 1 million landscape before the end of its project duration, with 12 northern states already reviewed.
Going to pledge to support them at any capacity they want us to do.
About $700 million has been earmarked by the World Bank for the project, and it is expected that this gesture will spur the implementation ministries, departments and agencies to show commitments and ensure timely delivery on the project. All right, joining me right now in the studio to talk more on the ACReSAL project is the National Coordinator, Agroclimate Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, Dr. Abdul Hamid Omar. I want to say thank you very much, Doctor, for finding time to talk to us on Africa Weekly.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now let's begin this conversation, by first of all talking to us on what is agroclimate resilience in semi-arid landscape. What is it all about?
Essentially speaking, ACReSAL, acronym for Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes project. It's aimed at intervening in essentially improving landscape degradation in largely the northern states of Nigeria. These northern states are 19 and FCT. The degraded landscapes arising from climate change issues and natural activities. That's essentially what ACReSAL is aimed to deliver.
Okay, so now you said it is, we know that it is a World Bank funded project and being implemented by the Federal Ministry of Education through ACReSAL. So how much of investment are we talking about here?
Yes, essentially speaking, the project is led by the Federal Ministry of Environment and co-led by the Ministries of Water Resources and Sanitation and Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. These are the three fundamental ministries that are charged to deliver the instrumentality and components of the ACReSAL project. The amount that the federal government of Nigeria and 19 states of northern part of this country and FCT actually sign off is $700 million US.
Okay, so with this amount, what is the project lifespan and targeted degraded land areas expected to be covered by this project? And tell us what percentage of this degraded landscape has been recovered so far since the takeoff for this project?
Thank you very much for the question. Essentially speaking, the landscape earmarked is to deliver 1 million of degraded landscapes in the northern part of Nigeria. And this is in compliance to the federal government of Nigeria's involvement in what we call the Paris Accord, wherein the federal government of Nigeria had an intention and promises to deliver the coverage and recovery of 4 million degraded landscape by the year 2030. ACReSAL project seeks to deliver 1 million of those degraded landscapes in 6 years. The project duration is a 6-year tenure, which commences in the month of June in year 2022. So it's expected that by March of year 2028, the project would have delivered a minimum of 1 million degraded landscapes in the country.
Okay, so at this point now, you are confident that the project is meeting the required mandate. In other words, what impact is this making on the beneficiaries of the program right now? What impact has it made so far?
So far, so good. Like I said, the project just started in year 20. Effective date was basically year 2022. So we're talking approximately a few months after 1 year. And based on statistics available now, with the project just commencing, the project is really gingering and empowering itself totaling to take off. And at this preliminary implementation stage, the coast looks really clear and inviting, to the extent that we can happily say we have covered a minimum of 2,000 to 3,000 degraded hectares of degraded landscape. So the speed looks very good, and the beneficiaries are enormous. For instance, we have statistically been able to mobilize and engage and sensitize over 100,000 communities in this northern part of the country, and the list of beneficiaries immediately could be seen in states like Nasarawa, Adamawa, Kaduna, Niger, where in some of the landscape activities and areas that concerns water supply, because the project, like I said, is anchored by and driven by 3 ministries. You recall environment, which is degraded landscapes of the country, agriculture, because that's the mainstay, and the sustainability and recovery of this degraded land requires vegetation, which is agri-driven, and you require water. And that's why the project essentially speaks to areas of watershed and catchment management plan. So the list of the beneficiaries are enormous and large. The expectation of the project is that by the end of the project in 6 years, we would have been able to have a minimum of 3.4 million beneficiaries. And so far, so good. The list is high, and the governors can attest to that. The governors have so keyed in because this project is not only multifaceted, it is multi-level.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdulhamid Umar, National Coordinator, ACReSAL. Thank you very much for finding time to shed more light on this project and the impact it's making in the northern state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, viewers. My pleasure. Thanks.